Hello, this is the Kenyan Siasa, and I'm your host, Bali Odawanadawa. Dear folks of the Kenyan Siasa, yesterday, the Deputy President, Professor Abraham Kithure Kindiki, convened a meeting bringing together the Mount Kenya East elected legislators. Mount Kenya East, here we are talking about the counties of Meru, Tharaka Nithi, and Embu. In this episode, we're evaluating the motive behind Professor Kindiki convening this meeting, the impetus that drove Kindiki to convene this meeting. Recently, over the weekend, the immediate former Attorney General and the current CS for Labour, Justin Njoka Bidan Muturi, called for a press conference and addressed his dissatisfaction with this government, the government of Kenya Kwanza, with regards to an incident of abduction that involved his son that took place last year around the month of June. This came as a surprise, considering the fact that Muturi is part and parcel of this government of Kenya Kwanza, by virtue of him being a CS, a sitting member of the cabinet of the Kenya Kwanza government. People are of the opinion that Muturi could have resorted for a diplomatic approach in sorting this issue, considering the fact that he is a CS. And taking into consideration that he came full gun blazing, it basically means that things might not be well between Muturi and maybe President William Ruto. Or in other words, Muturi might be on his way exiting this government of Kenya Kwanza and join troops with the immediate former Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua. Now, in this episode, we're looking at the impetus that drove Kindiki to convene this meeting. Chances are very high that this meeting had the blessings of the President William Ruto. And it was convened, number one, maybe to mitigate the imminent or the impending mass exodus of the Mount Kenya legislators from the government, from the Kenya Kwanza Pact coalition, or from the party of UDA, and joining troops with Rigathi Gachagua. Since the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua, his star with regards to the Mount Kenya politics has risen a great deal. Rigathi Gachagua is becoming a darling to the mountain day by day. His popularity is rising. And the animosity, hostility against the government, against President William Ruto, with regards to impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua is on the rise. And therefore, the president must be a worried man. Therefore, we can just say that this meeting was convened to try, seduce, sway some of the undecided elected legislators from the Mount Kenya, to sway them to the president's side, to mitigate their exodus from the UDA and joining the Rigathi troop. Because this will be detrimental to President William Ruto with regards to the 2027 general elections. It basically means that the Mount Kenya voting bloc will be gone. And this will leave a huge void. That will be a really Herculean task to fill. Another reason as to why this meeting was held or convened is to try to create what is known as divide and rule. After President William Ruto impeached Rigathi Gachagua, it was evident that the Mount Kenya West, here we are talking about the counties of Murang'a, Nyeri, Embu, Nyandarua, and some parts of Nakuru that are majorly occupied by the Agikuyu community. It was obvious, it was evident that they were not happy with this action of Rigathi Gachagua being impeached. And therefore, for President William Ruto not to lose the entire grip of the Mount Kenya voting bloc, he saw it wise, he saw it ideal to take Kindiki, who comes from the Mount Kenya East. By doing this, he thought that maybe he would retain the Tharakas, the Embus, and the Merus, who are from the Mount Kenya East, by the virtue of their son being taken or being appointed as the deputy president. However, from the look of things, this divide and rule tactic isn't working, considering the fact that approximately 2 months ago, during a certain consecration of a certain bishop of the Catholic Church, Kimani, in Embu, President William Ruto received a very cold reception, and actually, at a certain point, he was heckled and booed. So let me not lose our track on our second point. We can just say that President William Ruto maybe blessed this meeting as a way or as a tactic to bring together the Mount Kenya East elected legislators and try maybe to create that divide and rule, because it's evident that currently the Mount Kenya West, the Agikuyu, are already on their way out of the UDA party. So if he is able to maintain the Mount Kenya East, the Tharakas, Embus, and Meru, even if Mount Kenya West goes, the vacuum or the void that will be left, yes, will be huge, but it will not be that of detrimental effect as compared to when he loses the entire Mount Kenya region. So we can just say that this meeting was held to try create that divide and rule, try to convince the Mount Kenya East elected legislators to stick with the president, and ultimately go to the grassroots, convince, seduce the Mount Kenya East populace to remain with the government, so that in the 2027 general elections, President William Ruto can reap a considerable number of votes from the Mount Kenya East, even if the Mount Kenya West will be out of this party of UDA. Dear folks of the Kenyan Siasa, we reached the halt of this episode. Thank you for taking your time and watching and listening to me. For those of you who are subscribed to our YouTube channel, the Kenyan Siasa, we're humbled, we're glad, thank you. And for those of you who are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, we beseech you to show us some love by subscribing, then hit on the notification bell to get notified whenever we upload content. Until next time, I'm Jabali, Odawa, Anadawa. Bye-bye.